Do I press OK? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys get it that it says recording in process? Okay, perfect.
Okay. So now we're going to go. Bear with me one moment here.
Take your time.
That's interesting.
What's happening?
It's not giving me the option to go live on Facebook, so maybe you actually need to make me host. Sorry about that.
So I'm going to go again on the three dots on you.
Mm-hmm.
Make you host, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How about now?
And then I'm going to make you co-host. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, so now I should be able to. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. And we are only going in the Ultimate Coach group, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. We are going live.
All right, we're live, right? Well, hello, wonderful people in the Ultimate Coach. Let me says it says OK meeting, so I don't want to leave the meeting. Hold on, let me just press OK again. Is that working? Nothing is
Yep,
working.
we're live.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So
we're live.
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's
good.
It's me, Pari Gunzak, and the wonderful, fabulous, joyful, the Watties, Christine and Grant Watties. I am so honored to have you guys here with me. We were supposed to start 15 minutes earlier. Let me tell you how I messed up. I forgot to call him and tell him that the time has changed in California or this part of the globe. I thought they had a time change as well. So they come in and they said, "Oh, we're coming back in an hour and a bit." And I said, "Oh no, you come back in 7 minutes." And they had just arrived from their walk. So by the time we got everything to set up and all that, it's me ruining it. So we're 15 minutes late. But then
And
again,
we Tuesday,
never
we're a day ahead as well.
was that, yeah. And I'm just saying it's never too late when you want to do
No,
a love job. Be creative. So yes, this
always
is
perfect timing.
always. So this is all about this magnificent book. I am ever so grateful for Steve Hardison and Amy Hardison, who wrote this fabulous book. And of course, Alan D. Thompson, who did all the research and all that. You can see my book has been baptized, and I'm not a reader, you people. I'm mostly on Kindle and Audible. And
Ah,
you can see now that even I just noticed this, the thing
then
is
you need a new
off of
book.
it. But this is how I read the book. What can I say? But
Um,
the book has done wonders in my life. One of the biggest wonders is that it brings us together from across the globe. There was no way, no how I could have met Grant and Christine Watties from New Zealand to California. How? When? Impossible. So the blessing of the book is that it's fantastic that we can all get together. I am grateful to my wonderful business coach, Eric Latham, that created this space so we can all be here together and we can be love, support. We can give each other's our shoulders to lean on to make this world a better place. I brag about this book constantly, and the one chapter that it's what are the chances in the world that the chapter love that it really brought me to myself and made me step out of my anger and my frustration to meet the peaceful fairy that I am today. And with the love of my life, the man that I call him my backbone, I call him my tiara, I adore him, my husband, Greg Gonzague. And it was because of the chapter love. But I'm saying, what are the chances that Greg and I had the pleasure of reading the chapter love in the book readings that we have, which if you haven't joined, please join. The book readings are phenomenal, starting 20th of March on a Wednesday in the evening at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern time, and then on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern time. And it is phenomenal. And Christine and Grant Wattie also read chapter love in the book reading. I had no idea. I mean, this is brilliant. So you guys, welcome, Christine. It's so great to have you here. Well, Grant, I am so honored that I had the conversation with you, and you were so wonderfully knowing that I'm just like you, relationship coach, and how fabulous it is that we both are in this magnificent relationships, and we want to share our love and support for everybody else out there that is looking for it and it's lost in the world. And I love that
Yeah,
question that
yeah.
comes here. It says, who would I need to be a more loving person? I'd love to hear from you.
Who would I need to be a more loving person? You just have to ask your partner and your kids, and they'll soon tell you.
I wish it was that simple.
I mean, all I needed to be was to choose Christine. 40 years ago, we've just had our 40th wedding anniversary. So I just had to be
Congratulations.
very discerning, very wise, and choose the Christine. And so that's the best decision I've ever made because of her love and the way she is. She's really created me and kept our relationship alive. And when I was strayed and gone off the path, she's brought me back, and she's wonderful. So, and we've got 3 beautiful children and 3 wonderful grandchildren.
Oh, how lovely.
And so I really have to acknowledge Christine. Yeah. So
Christine, let's hear you, my darling.
Well, thank you, first of all, to you, Furry, for being peaceful, Furry, organising this, because without you, we wouldn't be here either. And also thank you to anybody who's listening to this, because this is really for you. This session, it's about how wherever there's a gap in your life, something that you're wanting, that it can actually speak to you. So, Grant was very generous with his words there. And yet, we having 40 years together, of course, there's going to be ups and downs, so I want to acknowledge the ups and downs are part of us being human and actually
Yes.
being together in relationship for, as a couple. We have to be more loving. First of all, the person that we need to be more loving to is ourselves. So when you said peaceful, Fari, your best self, for me, my best self is happy Chris, or a happy light. And when I shine that light with Grant, and he's shining his best self, then we have the opportunity to be our best selves together. And I think this is a lesson that we've learned over the years, haven't we? Yeah. So being our best selves in relationship is, in my experience, the way to be more loving. Like, we're created in relationship with ourselves, and relationship with each other, relationship with you, Fari, and with you, Latara, and anyone else who's listening.
That's wonderful. I love the fact that you said it's not that we don't fight and argue. And it's this line that Amy Hardison is written on the chapter Love, page 369. And she goes, when people observe Steve and Amy, they say, I bet you guys never fight. Is that a secret? And she says, oh, definitely not. Of course we fight.
Well, as soon as you create a document, or as soon as you create an ideal of who you want to be, and you share it with your partner, then watch out. If you've got a great relationship, they're going to hold you to it. And it's not like, you're a hypocrite or anything, but it's like, we create ourselves as being the best. So our arguments now are like, hey, look, that's not serving you. That's not who you are. Just in a gentle way. And Chris can remind me, and I can remind her, but there's not a lot of reminding. It's more that we have a great friendship, and we enjoy being friends in all areas of our life. We spiritually, we're aligned. We can read the same book. I read the book of being and said, hey, look, Chris, you've got to read this. It's amazing. And so, when I first found Steve 4 or 5 years ago, we'd just been through a major crisis. It was Chris's birthday, and her father fell off a 50-meter cliff and was in life support. And then our business kind of struggled. My father died, and we had all these things. And I was saying, well, how do we're kind of lonely and we need more support, and we didn't have it around us. So I started looking for a community, and I found Steve and some of his clients, Gary Marler, and had lots of conversations. And that really helped me to refocus on who I needed to be to get out of the slump. Now, as Werner Erhard said, I'm not a man in a diner. I've been a therapist, worked with over 10,000 people, and we've been coaching, mentoring for 20 years, but we still kind of got lost, and we needed this kind of community and the support of each other to grow and love, because life happens, right? And our survival instincts kick in, and some of your old patterns will kick in, but you've always got a choice, in between, the gap between, the space between, as Viktor Frankl said, the space between the stimulus and the response, there's a choice.
100%.
And that's something we bring into our relationship, is a space so we can reset and then come back to each other and make the best choice for love.
As you said, is definitely life happens, and what do we do in those happenings? Just like for the last 30 years that I've been a fitness trainer and a life coach, and oh my God, like hundreds of people that I've seen that they were like jumping up and down and exercising and doing everything good, and they're coaching, and then the next day they have a stroke and they're paralyzed. Like, oh, what do we do now? Half of this person is not there anymore. They can't even talk. And then how do they create that relationship with their partners without being damaged?
Actually, I have a really good story.
Let's hear
7
it.
weeks. 7 weeks to the day.
Yeah.
I think we shared this with you earlier.
Yes, you did.
Kari, but for our audience, I'm going to share it today, that 7 weeks to the day, Grant and I were having, as we were doing regularly, a bike ride in the morning, enjoying it together. And I
Yes.
was coming down a hill, and I crashed coming down, and I broke 6 bones and various other things. So I'm lying on the couch for about 2 weeks. So just when you shared your story, I think, oh my goodness, this was me, like we did not expect that to happen, and so all of a sudden now Grant's thrown into a new role. He's not, it's not a natural role for him. He's thrown into the caring supporter role. We don't expect this from our partners. And I'm also thrown into this lying still person for, a number of weeks. And so the dynamic of the relationship changes, and that's the beauty of a strong relationship. We're not alone. So many people are alone.
Correct.
And we're, I'll be honest here, there's a little bit of resettling required, because, we're both, we've both got plenty of things that we're doing and commitments and things, and all of a sudden it's changed. So there was a need to kind of resettle our relationship. And I can honestly say now, Grant is the most fabulous supporter, cook, especially beautiful chef. And now I'm stepping back into my role now 7 weeks later. But that was a real big shock in the relationship.
Vacuum cleaning leaves a bit to be worked on, but
so we will be thrown into.
Chris had to make a list, because my standards not quite the same as hers. I just don't see things. I've got kind of narrow vision. I don't see this, it needs to be done, or that. And so then, this is a part of what happens in a real relationship. It's saying, okay, well, how are we going to adjust? And then we found the solution was for Chris to write a list. And so, well, here's all the things that I do. And I'd say, okay, well, I can do this and do that. And so she's not having to nag me all the time. And, it worked beautifully. So I can't wait till she gets better. I'll readjust the list.
Yeah, but I bet it brought the relationship even better and closer.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you have to do so much for Christine that she can't do. And then Christine is sitting there and watching and goes, wow, this is the husband that I had for 40 years and I didn't know this side of him, you know.
And that's the beauty. People think, often when people come to us in our relationship work, they think that they've lost that passion, they've lost that real connection that they once had, and that they can never ever be restored. That's the myth, because when we do the work, then we can, it's like a big circle. We can come round, we've got stuck at a point, and that's where many people get divorced. Look at the statistics. Most people will opt for the easy option. Well, it looks like an easy option. Let me tell you, it's actually not an easy option. When you do the work and you come round, you actually come right round the circle to where you started, but it's better because we've had these examples this. I mean, Grant wouldn't be hoping this is going to happen again ever, I think, but we've learned and we've grown through this challenge. Both of us have learned and grown.
100%. I
And that's the
totally agree with
journey.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I have similar to your surgery. That did you have to have a surgery or was not
No,
no, you didn't
I
have any
didn't.
Oh my God. So being a martial artist, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo and I really abused my body. I mean, I baptized every inch of my body with punches, with kicks, and I ended up having 7 knee surgeries, or I fractured my bone. And here's my arm in a sling and I'm there punching with my other arm because I was so living a life of anger and frustration. Fast forward, my knees got so bad after 7 surgeries that now I need to have a knee replacement. And this is 2 years ago at the peak of the pandemic. And they had to do the knee replacement 8 weeks apart from each other. And let me tell you, my husband became a man without wings that you don't see. My husband, my Greg, did so much for me that I don't know if my mother would have been able to do as much as he did for me and give me that unconditional love, which after all that I went to go, because I had lots of complication for the knee surgeries before and all the injections that they give you, all these cortisone shot that they give you before the surgery. So you postpone and prolong the surgery. And once they did it, it really ate a lot from the muscles around the joint. And I did a test for osteoporosis because I've always been into fitness, and my bones were as strong as a 29-year-old girl. And when I had the surgery, I was 64. I'm now 66, but my bones were so strong. So it wasn't bone density that it was the problem. It was the cortisone that it had eaten up from the core of the bone. Anytime I see people go for cortisone shot, I said, don't do it. I had to pay the price for it. But what my husband had to go through with me and see this, and I thought, if this is not love, what else is love? And just like how
Well, that's
Steve Hardison talks in the book, and he talks about the document and the creation of how do you create? How you can create hate. This is my saying, not Steve saying. I'm saying it. You can create hate or you can create love. You can create nagging and whining and complaining. Or you can create grace, gratitude, and coming from a place of love. That's what has been the foundation of our relationship, which I'm sure that resonates with you guys as well. And that's what the world needs us for, because they don't know how to create the matter of a creation, replace the anger and the frustration and the negativity with the love, with the one that I'm calling myself now today. I'm a peaceful person. I'm still hyper ADHD, HSP, the one that I am, but that doesn't make me to be a miserable person.
Yeah. So there's something you said, like it's transmuting the anger and the frustration, which I think is key, because people that are listening that are thinking of, yeah, I would love to have this loving relationship, but it doesn't seem possible with my partner. And so the enemy of love really is, that I've seen in, working with over 10,000 people, is this inner frustration, thinking that it's the other person, where it's your own expectation I was going to ask you, just to keep this real, where in your relationship has there been kind of a frustration that Greg's had with you or you with him, that you've been able to transmute that into love,
I
like
was
a
the
real
trouble.
situation?
I was the problem. My husband has been the most loving person from the day one I saw him, but I come from the anger and the frustration of, and that's what I was telling Steve Hardison yesterday, and he said, "My goodness, Farid, this is gold. Why don't you share it to the world?" And I am grateful for Steve. I hope to God he's here, and if he's not, Latara, can you tag Steve Hardison, please, and have it, and Eric Laughlin, and then hopefully they can just come quickly and listen to this. Is that because of my rage with my father, with my brother, with an ex-husband, with zillions of boyfriends that I had. And I said, that's it. After I got divorced at the age of 29, I said, I will never get married again. I just want to have a free relationship, and I just don't want to. All I did, I transferred the anger of the father to the husband, then it is ex-husband, then it's a boyfriend and another boyfriend. But I never wanted to clear it up. I didn't want to go to the core of the problem and resolve it within me once and for all, you know. And because I didn't, I wasn't able to see how loving my husband is and was. And this is this guy. You will meet him. He's nothing but a bundle of love. He's nothing but a bundle of support, and he's nothing but a bundle of respect for me and the world. But I had, it's like I'm wearing this dark lens of a glasses, and all I see in him is the reflection of who's in me. That wasn't the truth about my husband.
So have you got a specific example?
Oh my
So,
goodness, how many do you want me to?
so people can like an example of where you were angry, or and you're
Very
able to
simple.
resolve it.
Yes. I even mentioned that, where was I last Thursday? I said that. Greg and I were leading the chapter Love on a Thursday morning. We go and we dissect one page of it every week, and we talk about it. So when I was reading the chapter Love, Greg is a very touchy-feely person. So Greg comes around, and every time he comes around, he goes like this to me, or he grabs me, or he touches me. And I was saying, oh, he's so needy. Why is he touching me so much? Stop it, you know.
Yeah.
And I was being myself, God, come on, don't touch me so much. And I was just saying, can you keep your hands to yourself? Right. Like if he sits next to me, right, sitting next to me, doesn't matter. There are thousands of people, or just he goes with his hands under my legs and he sits like that. He just needs that connection. I
Lovely.
was fuming at that. Why is he touching me? And then I'm reading the chapter Love, and then it says, Steve's office is at home, so he goes back and forth to the house from the office, and they meet each other with the regular hugs and touches and all of that. And I said, oh, so that's a good thing, you know. And then I learned that receive, woman, receive the love he's giving you so unconditionally. Be accepting of this love. Look at it as love rather than he is a needy person. That was so huge for me to transform it. And then I just said, oh my goodness, what a joy this guy is. And I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know it. I even in my head, I always gave him names too. Oh my God, what a weak man. Why is he doing that? Oh my God, he's such a pussy. Oh no, you know, I was like looking at it. And then I started reading and I started learning, and I thought, what is up in my head that is not wanting to leave me? Because I choose to stick to it and don't let it go. It's my choice to stick to all this negativity. And once I recognized that, and then I started letting it go, not only today our relationship is phenomenal. And when I said that to Steve yesterday, and then he goes, this is gold, go on the Facebook and share that. I said, everywhere we go, and they see us together, and they said, are you guys, have you just met each other? And then I said, oh no, we're wife and a husband. You're a wife and a husband? Did you just get married? Oh my God. And I said, we're old. No, we've been married for a while, you know. But it's the relationship that the creation of what I learned from Steve Hardison. It's the creation of
Mm.
making that love in ways that become so big that it washes. It's like you go to the shower and you get this big sponge of love and you start rubbing it all over you and you become it.
Mm.
And I am becoming one with the only one in the world that I adore, and that's my hubby. And I worship this guy because
Mm.
he was patient with me and I couldn't change anything about him.
Yeah,
Everything that I
beautiful.
kept on doing to him, it was all about me. And that's
Yeah.
why the relationships today, the people feel so lonely and they say it's just not working because we always want to point our fingers on the other one. He has to do it. We never see that it has to come from ourselves.
Exactly. And so what I'm hearing is Whare, is that first of all you recognized you actually became aware of these patterns and this behavior, and you
Yes.
owned it. And
Yeah.
then you let it go.
Mhm.
And then in letting it go, you had access to what I term as the love that's always there. You're sort of
Always.
uncovering that love
Yes.
that was the foundation of who you are, and you can be with your partner when you let go of all that stuff, all those layers of stuff that's happened because of your past experiences with your father or your brother or ex-boyfriends or whoever it is. And so the question that I have for you is how did you do that? Because it's like, yes, this is to help others, like people will be listening and saying, well, that's all very well. How do we let go? How do we become aware? How do we let go so that we have access to this foundational love that's who we
Wonderful
are?
question. It's a wonderful question. I'm being asked that from my own clients that how do you do it? And I just say, number one, life is all about the choice.
Mm, mm,
It's about choices we make. And I always say, choose wisely.
mm,
That's one. Number two is that if there is a will, there is a way. And I, as the person who wants that change, I am the way. My
mm,
husband wasn't. I was the problem. And
mm,
if we all take responsibility
mm, mm,
and we take charge that we are the creator of whatever it is that is around us, no matter what.
Mm.
That's what one of the things that I always say. I said, our past traumas, one thing I
mm,
lived for many years in my life, my past traumas are
mm,
not a life sentence. They're a life
mm,
lessons. And I
yeah,
took it as a life sentence. And I made
mm,
this bubble of jail and a prison for myself. And I made myself to live in that prison of my
mm,
anger and my frustration.
mm,
That's why today I have a different sets of ears when I'm listening to people when they talk about it, because I come from that. And I always
mm,
say, I don't want you to go through my painful path.
mm,
There is so
yeah,
much easier short way, shortcut to do, and that is life is all about the choices. I wanted to choose. I was looking for ways to
mm,
get myself out of that misery.
mm,
Once I started, it's always a matter of realizing it and then
mm,
acknowledging it. Once you
mm,
acknowledge it, then you do
mm.
something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
then when I
great.
was thinking of doing something about it, believe me, at the peak of me thinking about it, here is I helping everybody out there but myself.
Mm.
So what about Greg? What did he do anything about it? Did he say anything to you or or
Do
did
you
you
want to know
was there any,
something? This wonderful man at
was
first he put up with me. At first, when was it that he walked out on me? We were dating for about, um, I think we dated about 6 months, and he
mm,
walked out on me. He just left me.
mm,
And I said,
mm,
fine, go, I'm busy making so much money and I'm all have money. Who needs you? Go another guy next. That was my thought was.
mm,
And
mm,
4 days went by and I'm working hard, earning a ton of money, going from yoga and the Pilates, practicing yoga and doing golf and coming home and all that. And 4 days later, I come home I come home and then I see that not only he's taken his clothes were in that shelf, in that cabinet that I had in my house, he'd left the curtains open. So for me to see it is gone, you know. And then I looked at it, I said, like, such an empty thing. And I thought, oh, I wanted him to go. And I'm sitting there and I was talking to one of my sisters, and my sister says, "You're so stupid. You had gold in your hands and you didn't know how to appreciate it." And she kept saying, "Farah, you're sold on the money that you're earning and you don't understand how much you're losing the deep value that is in your life." And she said that, and I looked around and I thought, oh my God, I felt like the walls are coming close to me. That it was 4 days later. And I thought, I've always told him, I never call a man ever in my life to say, I'm sorry. I did. I picked up the phone to him and I called him and he answered the phone. He goes, wow, why are you calling me? And then I said, listen, I'm not calling to ask you back, but I'm calling to apologize to you, to tell you, I'm talking to you out of my vulnerability. I know I'm a very strong person, but I need to be vulnerable with you now. And I burst into tears. I said, lucky any woman to have you. I want you to know you did nothing wrong, and I am the one who said wrong. Please forgive me. I just want you to tell me you forgive me. And then he said, what are you doing for dinner? And he came back and he never left. But a year and a half after that, I just said, that's it, we have to get divorced. That was August of 21. I said, we have to get divorced. I just couldn't handle it to go in and see me. And just as I said, he says, no, 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 no. I said, I'm going to go back to England. I don't want to be here because I lived in England 14 years before I came to America. And I said, no, I'm going to go. I don't want to be, no, you have the house, you have all my furniture, you have everything. I'm gone, you know. And as I am just going through this transition, I had just already read the book of, started reading the book of Loving What Is by Byron Katie. And that's softening me out a little bit. And right then at the peak of that, around about, I think it was about October, this book came about. And I looked at the book and I said, bloody hell, 500 pages, hell no, I'm not reading it. I had it on a Kindle and I looked at it and I said, no, and I just was through the chapters. And I looked at that chapter, love, and I said, let me what that is. And I started reading it and the more I read, the more I realized how much I am not helping this situation and how much I'm making it worse. And it was the time for me to learn, wow, what a long road I have to go. And my husband didn't have anything else to do with himself because he was the love.
So what did Greg have to learn in this? Because it's never a one-way street. Like you're presenting, you know, and it's wonderful. You've had these realizations, and I guess what I'm pointing to is this pattern I see in so many different couples where you get this tiger turtle pattern. So the tiger shows up, and then the turtle goes into the shell, and they withdraw, and they say, okay, but the frustration is still there. So then you come together, and then when you're both vulnerable and open and you're not triggered anymore, you're able to resolve things.
Right. You know, I'll let Greg to explain it to you next time when we come back. But what he did say to me, to everybody they asked, he said he always saw that there is a great possibility for us to be together, but I was busy living my anger life and living. So, and he just kept on hoping that I will step out of it and I will recognize who I really and truly am. And that's what he was. This guy is like a walking sage. I cannot tell you how fabulous he is.
So it sounds to me like he believed in the possibility of you, even before you saw that yourself. And you know, in coaching, you know, one of the words that we use is you need a container for change. So he was that safe container for you that made the possibility of change possible, even though it really seemed to be from a very, you know, you mentioned vulnerability and you know, it can be challenging. So even though with Greg was that container of possibility for you.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah,
beautiful
wonderful.
story.
Yeah,
Farah.
beautiful story.
Yes,
Wonderful.
hopefully we can. I love this so much, and I feel like there is so much need for people out there that
Yeah.
are they, whether they are in relationships and they're feeling lonely. It's something else to be alone, and it's one thing to be lonely. Either they're in a relationship and they feel lonely, or they're looking for relationships. It's just that how do we become that, not just teachers, but how do we become the encourager of people, what is it is that is missing in their lives within themselves, that I love to come and share with everyone for like a few weeks if you guys are up to it. And then I can get next week, Greg can come and he can talk. And he's not a big talker, he's a listener, but he can come and say some his own words. I don't want to speak for him, but he always said he saw the possibility, opposite attracts,
Yes.
I am the one that is always, and he's very calm. He's like a Gandhi type, mellow, very serene. And when I go out of whack, he just calms me down. And when he gets too calm, I just, come on, let's get going, So it's really wonderful to give it a chance to bring the best out of both of us,
And that's what a great relationship does, doesn't it? It actually, in being your best self, you actually both bring out the best in each other.
Yeah.
And that ripples into your business, that ripples into your family, your community, and the world. And that's the beauty of a great relationship. And thank you. So we're going to meet. Yeah, so just confirming what you said, Whare, we're going to meet at the same time next week, well, actually 10 minutes earlier because we were a little late today, with Greg.
I will send you the link today for next week.
Sounds wonderful.
So I know that there were a few lovely people there watching Latarjas, and then Miriam and Julie and Push Child Foundation found something Foundation Uganda, I think that's what it is, that they were here watching. And if anybody, thank you for watching. And if anyone has any questions, of course, Chris and Grant Wattie and myself, we would love to come here and share that with you and share our love and support, correct? Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Watties, yes.
Yeah, I think, for it to be of value, it's great if you've got a question or something you're stuck on, and we can get into the heart of the nitty-gritty of what actually makes a great relationship. You don't just say, I'm going to have a loving relationship, and you've got this document of how you're going to be this amazing, loving person, and then it happens. I mean, that's the North Star. That's how what you want. That's what you're becoming. But then you get all these, it's like you're flowing down a river, and things, big logs come up, and you've got to go over them or get around them. And so it's the nitty-gritty of our relationship and how we resolve the issues and get those out of the way so we can show up together and create a wonderful life together.
That's a wonderful thing. And it just dawned on me to share that. What do you guys think? I was going to say, if anybody wants to read, even though you've read it before, but if you go to the Ultimate Coach book and then read the chapter Love, which is a page 367. And if you have any questions on that, you can always bring it here, or even outside of that. If you have something that you like to be talked about, you like it to be opened up about, you can send it to us before, and we can go deep into it. And then you can see how much, just like how Grant was saying, it's not just, become love. Forget about the past. Well, it's not really easy. It wasn't that easy for me at all. And to this day is a battle. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. But how stronger am I becoming in me that when it comes, I recognize it and I just say, okay, I hear you, I see you, thank you, but goodbye. And I don't let it come back into me. So these are very important subjects that I have learned a lot from the Ultimate Coach. I have learned a ton from the entire book, and would love to come and share with you guys and make this world a better place for all of us, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Whare. Thank you.
Beautiful. Wonderful to
Thank
be
you
here.
so much for coming here. I know you guys are very busy, and my wonderful assistant Latara, God, it would not happen without you, as I am not a computer savvy at all. So that's a blessing.
Thank you, Latara.
We love you all. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Grant, for being here.
Yeah, lots of love.
Lots of love
Thank you.
to get you all the way from here, California to New Zealand, to all of you around the world. And
As we
will
say
be
in New
back.
Zealand, lots of aroha. Aroha is the New Zealand Māori word for love. Aroha nui is love and blessings.
Wow.
So we
Lots
send
of
those.
lots of aroha from New Zealand.
That's
Beautiful.
fabulous. We will be back next Monday, 1:30 Pacific time. And again, I
Beautiful.
apologize to everybody and you guys, Chris and Grant, that I did not let you know before that is a time change, but next week we get it right. We will be here at 1:30 sharp. So we'll
That's
meet you
perfect.
here. Have a
Beautiful.
wonderful
Thank you.
day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Recording stop.
Yeah, let me stop the recording.